Let me welcome here Martin Smrek, the head of product management department at Tatra Asset Management, with his topic, successful selling of mutual funds via digital channels, science fiction, dream, or, well, we'll see what the leader in digitization of the Slovak financial sector will tell us.
Sure. Thank you. Maybe you are wondering, why did he choose such a title? Believe me or not, but nowadays it is not known any success story of digital sales of mutual funds, and at least not in the middle or in the Middle Europe or Eastern Europe, but I think also in the Europe. If I'm talking about successful story, I'm not talking about a couple of saving plans or about some volumes in lump sum investments. I'm talking about 15,000 of saving plans a year or 50 million of euros a year. Nobody has made it so far to sell mutual funds via digital channels so successfully. We in Tatra Bank like challenges. We really like challenges and we want to make it. We want to be first to make it. We know that it will be hard, but we know that there are some obstacles in the path, and we are used from the past on it. We have started to sell mutual funds via internet banking many, many years ago. Mutual funds, it is not an easily sold product, definitely. It is a product which you can sell quite hard. There are numerous reasons behind it. Maybe there is one fact that there is relatively short existence of mutual funds in Slovakia comparing to the Western Europe or United States of America. Another reason that the nature of the fund, that the value of your investment may go up as well as down. It is not the feature which would many people like, definitely. And mutual funds are typical push products. So if you want to sell it to the client, you have to push it. There is a really little number of clients which would come into bank and wanted to invest. They are growing by time, but still it could be said that it is a push product. And when we started to sell mutual funds in internet banking, we have found that two basic obstacles on our way are the following. The first one, selling of mutual funds is dominated by bank branches, definitely. Mutual funds are the most popular investment product dedicated to large masses. In Europe, there are trillions of euro invested in mutual funds, but majority of the volume is invested through banking branches. The clients often say that they need some kind of personal advice and they are not very eager to invest via digital channels. Definitely not. And the second obstacle is legislation. Investing is one of the most strictly regulated area. Legislation is coming year by year. It is still tougher and tougher. It was elevated mainly more than 10 years ago when MIFID directive has appeared, and it was really challenging to meet requirements of this legislation. And so once upon a time, more than 10 years ago, when MIFID directive came, we had to meet those requirements, and we were so obsessed to meet those requirements that we forgot about the most important one. We forgot about the client. And believe me or not, this was the first screen you could see in our internet banking if you wanted to invest into mutual funds. Our lawyers were so strict that we have to start with it. We have to start with this ugly legal text that we have to tell the investor everything he wants to need, and there are the texts from the directive, and we have to start with it, and then we proceed with selling process. We were so spooked that we understood. And this was the first screen you could see if you wanted to start to invest in our mutual funds. If you have made it, you could see another screen. There are no pictures, there is no motivation to invest. There are maybe just two list boxes where you could choose a purpose of saving and the fund you want to invest, but you don't know anything about the fund. If you could click on the list box, you could see 21 mutual funds without possibility to get to know them closer, without possibility to read something about it, some basic information. So it would be a miracle if it worked. Frankly speaking, it didn't work. So we had a dream, we had a big dream that we have to change it, and we have to do something in another way, and if we want to be successful, it has to be radical change. We started to work on it last year, and finally in the March of this year, we have launched a new way of selling of mutual funds in internet banking. We knew that if we want to be successful, we need to face two big challenges. Have to approach the client who doesn't want to invest via digital channels, and have to meet the legislation requirements and not to kill the client with it. That was the two basic challenges. We had a vision that we have to meet requirements of the modern digital sales, that it has to be as easy as possible, as few clicks as possible. It has to be very, very clear and very motivational for a client. We wanted to increase of sales, we wanted to increase of efficiency of sales, and after the improvement of the process, we wanted to start with digital campaigns. So we had a vision, and we started. Finally, we have a first new screen with the basic information about the mutual funds, and we wanted to start with the basic advantages. Why should you invest? That when you will invest in mutual funds, you will have possibility for higher returns, flexibility, strong partner on your side, no entrance fees. This was the first information you could see on the first screen. Then we wanted to know whether you want to invest regularly with smaller amounts, or you want to invest lump sum with one-off investment. If you choose that you want to invest regularly, you could see this screen. We have added some pictures of the most popular saving purposes people use nowadays. From our experiences, we know that people who save for certain purpose have higher probability to be successful than people who save without a purpose. Following a purpose, keeping you on track, that's very, very important. That's why we have added these 4 purposes: wealth, education for child, better living, and car. We have also added a calculator. You could play with numbers. You could count how much you will save. Let's say in 5 years, if you will be able to save regularly 100 euros a month. We have also added some kind of wizard for specific purposes. Let's say if you chose education for child and you will play with calculator and your total amount will be less than 14,000 euros, our wizard would say to you that, okay, but according to service, total costs of university studies in Slovakia are around 14,000 euros, so you should increase your monthly saving amount. If you wanted to invest lump sum or one-off, we wanted to know what is the way how you want to invest. Whether you want to invest cautiously or you want to invest as much as possible if you want to invest aggressively. If you want to invest aggressively, let's say, I will show to you mainly equity funds. If you want to invest cautiously, I will show to you just conservative products. You can read about this way of investing, about long-term expected return of it, investment period, or about the maximal portion of equities which will be invested if we will choose this way. We also wanted to introduce also our funds. If you are looking some information, you would be able to get to know something about it. So we have added some basic information about individual funds, expected annual return, risk profile, investment horizon, or activity level of the fund. You can compare it between them, and you can continue. All the necessary legal text we're putting to the end of the process. It has to be there, but we wanted to start with something nice, something motivational, and all the legal text went to the end. We were really eager to see whether it will or will not work. What do you think? There is a very nice improvement. For 6 months after the launching of the new way of selling of mutual funds in internet banking, we are able to sell on a weekly basis 100% more of saving plans than we were able in the last year within the old process. Relatively, it's wonderful. In absolute numbers, we are still really far behind our expectations, really far behind our targets, but we know that we are on a right way. What is important, we have some kind of very interesting lessons we learned. First of all, we have implemented Exponia because we wanted to know how our clients behave in our new selling process, and we wanted to know when we lose them. And what is the most important, we have identified it doesn't work. Sorry. We have identified 3 crucial steps when we lose the most clients. It is the choosing of the saving purpose, choosing of the fund, and confirmation screen. Those are the 3 steps when we are losing, let's say, around 30% of clients. Surprisingly, those screens with the legal text and technical standards and technical settings, there are no problem there. The biggest problems are in the first 3 steps. It is clear that the more choices you will give to the client, the more you are losing him. Nowadays, we have some ideas how to fix it, how to do it better, and we will test it. We are trying to do some ABC testing, and we will see whether it will work, but definitely there is a long journey ahead of us. Another lesson is concerning internet banking. Internet banking is fighting with mobile application. We are living in a digital, fast world, and internet banking is dominated by mobile application. Frankly speaking, what was the last time when you were in your internet banking? Frankly speaking, I can't say, I can't remember. I don't use internet banking. Number of visitors of internet banking monthly is decreasing. Number of visitors of mobile application is increasing. The scissors opens in a direct way. We also wanted to confirm it through digital campaigns. We have improved our sales process in internet banking, and we wanted to launch a digital campaign and wanted to check what are the efficiencies of the individual selling channels. So we have launched our campaign on saving education on a sample of 10,000 of clients, and the results were surprising. We have turned it on in internet banking, in mobile application, and in emails. After 3 weeks, we have looked at the results, and the result was 5,000 of clients have seen the campaign in mobile application. Just 1,000 of clients have seen it in internet banking. The world is changing really fast. Internet banking once was the king of the digital area, of digital sales, but nowadays it's clear that mobile application rules, and if we want to be successful in selling through digital channels, we have to go to the mobile application. It doesn't mean that we won't try to improve selling processes in internet banking, but we believe that if we want to be really successful, we need to introduce our funds into mobile application. We have to target of new generation, to millennials, to people who live and sleep with mobiles. It could bring higher sales and it could decrease the costs. And the biggest question is how to do it successfully. It has to be easy to use, definitely. It has to have as few clicks as possible. It has to be really clear process, really simple, and it should have some features of gamification, maybe some loyalty program, maybe some achievements, the possibility to earn some awards. Those are things we think about, and we believe that next year we will be able to launch a new way of selling of mutual funds via mobile application. And that's why this year Hackathon's challenge was concerning of this topic. At this moment, 9 teams in another room are finalizing their proposals, and we will see maybe in a couple of minutes whether and how will they help us on our way of digital investment revolution. Thank you.
I thank you. Don't turn it off because we have some questions. The first one, in US almost majority of investments are being invested to passive index funds. Why do you prefer to focus your future solution on mutual funds when they are dying out?
I don't think that mutual funds are dying. ETFs are very good for long-term investors. What is the most important way? You can find ETFs for equity funds, let's say, for equity investors. But if we are talking about an average investor, he needs to have mixed portfolio. It is really hard to have some ETF fund and to be able to buy it here in Slovakia in a considerable way. So mutual fund is really easy also to sell and also to invest.
And the second question, that it seems that you sell mainly your own funds. With this platform, why not to sell thousands of funds available independent on who's running them?
According to the MIFID directive, it is really hard to sell for distributors to sell another funds. If you want to sell another funds, you have to pay some provisions. So it is really hard for a distributor, and majority of distributors have chosen the way to distribute just own funds or funds from own group.
Understandable reason. Martin Smrek, thank you.
Thank you.